Is that manslaughter?
It's man's laughter.
I went to an event this past weekend that I think that you would find very intriguing.
Okay.
They probably don't want me blowing up their entire plot on the internet, but here I am. I'm going to do it.
Too bad.
Too bad. Sorry. We only have like 20 listeners. It's fine.
20 people don't get to experience it themselves. They get it here.
I went to this thing called the Jury Experience.
Is this like your TV show where they're just pretending that you're a real person and
Oh my
everyone
God.
else is an actor?
That would have been
thing?
so fun. No. So it was like, I didn't know what to expect of it. It was supposed to be like, you pretend to be a jury basically. So I was like, how is this going to work? Are we going to have like 12 people in our little group and we go off and deliberate and do stuff? Or is it going to be like, we just watch a play? How's this going to unfold?
Okay.
Because it's kind of like one of those dinner theater troupe things, but without the dinner. So I guess you would just call that a theater troupe.
Okay.
So they did this one act play basically, and it was only 4 actors. There was the judge, the defendant, the attorney, and the prosecutor. And
Okay.
oh, and one witness, I guess. And then a couple like voice actors because they did audio stuff too.
Yeah.
But they put on this like little one act play basically. And then have you ever at work used something called Mentimeter?
Nope.
Okay. It's something that a lot of companies use to like keep people engaged in meetings and stuff. You basically go to like mentimeter.com and enter a code, and then you vote on polls that they put up throughout the thing.
Okay.
So at work, like when I did it at US Bank before, they were like, do you like your salary? Yes or no? And it was always no. So
I would not want to do this.
the Jury Experience or Mentimeter in general?
Mentimeter. I don't want to do that.
I like it. It's a fun anonymous way to dunk on your company during a meeting. But they had this going at the Jury Experience. So basically, it was like a full theater audience. We did not break off into groups of 12. You
Okay.
just vote on like the prompts that happen throughout the play. I thought we were going to be solving like a murder or something, because that's generally what these types of things are. And
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could call it a murder. It was more of an accidental death. So let me tell you the plot of this thing. So
Okay.
first of all, I feel like the audience was a lot of people who are like me, people that have always wanted to be in jury duty but have never gotten the opportunity.
Oh my God. Okay.
So just a bunch of weirdo law heads out there. And the, what do you call him? The plaintiff, the guy who was being sued?
Defendant.
Defendant. That's right. Yeah, the defendant. He was a CEO of an AI company.
Okay.
And his...
Timely.
Yeah, it's an extremely timely thing. So the state of California is who's suing him, and they're suing him because one of his vehicles killed a pedestrian, and it's one of those like AI powered self-driving vehicles.
Okay.
So the whole plot of it, there's like 2 cars on this 2-lane road. Well, I mean, more than 2 cars, I guess, but the 2 cars in question, there's like a full line of traffic going eastbound, and then the AI car is going westbound. And then over in the lane next to the AI car, there's a bike lane, and there's a bicyclist just doing his thing, traveling with the flow of traffic. So he's fully
Which
abiding
is
by the law.
wrong. Wrong. You go against, but nobody does that.
All the bike lanes in town here, they go with the flow of traffic. Like the bike
Yeah.
doesn't pretend to be a car. But yeah, the bike is behaving as a bike should, being in the bike lane, obeying the traffic
Okay.
laws, etc. The AI car is traveling, and then a passenger car coming in the eastbound lane pulls over into the west lane, like crosses the yellow line and is like, I'm going to pass the car in front of me, and is able to get out of the way in time. But the AI car read like, oh no, there's a car oncoming, I'm going to swerve. And so it swerves and it kills the bicyclist.
Okay.
So the whole moral dilemma of it is like, should the car have just stayed on course? And like, should it have killed the passengers in the oncoming car? Should it have killed its own passenger? Or should it have done anything? I mean, what are the other options you have? I guess brake really hard, and like the people behind you are going to get fucked up too. But they had like character witnesses. So like the bicyclist's wife was there, and she was like, oh, he's a new dad, and he was a nurse, and he's just the best guy in the world. And they had the AI guy.
Like, already have where I am with this.
I want to know like where you are with it.
Well, immediately, it should still swerve because the odds of someone in the bike lane, like, there's a less chance that something's going to be there than, well, I'm going to full on hit a car in front of me. I'm going to let the car behind me hit. Those are certainties.
Mm-hmm.
That is an unknown.
Yeah.
That is a better statistical chance of something not happening. But in this case, it did.
Interesting point.
But I think that should still be what it should do.
Yeah. So there was like a poll at the top of the thing after they explained the case in the opening arguments. They were like, how does the audience feel right now? What do you guys think? He's innocent? You think he's guilty? And 75% voted innocent. I voted innocent because I am of the mind.
For who? The AI CEO?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because at that point, I'm of the mind. Like, the charge is manslaughter. So they're going to hit him with 10 years in prison for this.
Okay.
And at the beginning of the thing, the dude is like, you could have pled down to 2 years. And he's like, no, I'm innocent. I'm going to stay and fight this because I don't think I'm guilty of anything. So that's the charge we're facing.
Okay.
So I voted innocent because I was like, innocent until proven guilty. Like, let's hear some actual concrete evidence that it is his fault that the car swerved and like killed this bicyclist.
Okay.
Because I feel like as the jury, I know we're not supposed to do this in the American criminal system, but I wanted to like decide what his crime should have been, because I don't think manslaughter is a fair crime. Like,
yeah,
criminal negligence maybe, because like maybe the car is designed wrong, you know, then that's criminal on the part of the guy who designed it. Or I mean, even sentencing, if we could have decided sentencing, it would have been like 10 years is way too serious for this kind of a crime. Like maybe 6 months. I don't know.
Yeah.
So they go through the arguments and stuff, and they start to show evidence, and it comes out that the guy, the AI dude, he was like, he's been talking the whole time like, oh yeah, I like left my previous company and I started my own AI company because I'm this genius guy, and like I have all these ideas that I want to get out into the world. And then they have an interview with his previous employer who was like, no, we fired him because he wanted to like make cars unsafe. Basically, he was telling us we need to start cutting corners to save costs and take off safety sensors, do all these other things to get the car out faster to market. And I'm like, okay, so it's leaning more toward the criminal negligence thing that I was thinking of.
Yeah.
And then there's another witness that comes on. It's the chief safety officer of his new AI company. And the dude had emails that were like, I think that the car is not ready to go to market yet. It needs another 6 months of testing. If we send it out now, it's unsafe. And I would rather resign today than put the car out to market. So it's your decision. Do we wait or do we ruin my career? And the guy's like, fuck your career. So he put the car out too early. It was like not safe enough. So that put me in the mindset of like, this guy's guilty, in my opinion. But
not of manslaughter.
But not of manslaughter, yeah. So I was struggling with that. And I thought it was just a really interesting moral dilemma that it brought up.
Well, I guess technically it is. Because, I mean, manslaughter is the, like, accidental death by your actions.
Yeah.
And he took actions that could lead to this, but, like, purposefully. Like, if he had done, like, all of his best that he could, they really tested it, they, you know, did all this stuff, I would say it's just purely, it would still be manslaughter. But, like, I think the charge should go way down. But in this case, it's like, you chose to let this guy maybe get murdered. Well, not murdered, but you chose to let this guy probably die.
Yeah.
Unknowingly a long time ago.
I don't think that manslaughter is the right charge for it, but I don't know what it would be. Like, to me, that's the equivalent of like you throw a banana peel out your window on the highway, a car slips on it and crashes. Is that manslaughter?
Yeah.
But why?
Because it's man's laughter. I always thought manslaughter was... Okay, the unlawful killing of another human being without malice, but it's less culpable than murder. So, like, yeah. Okay, so there's voluntary manslaughter, which is the intentional killing, and then there's involuntary manslaughter, which can occur from, like, you're texting and driving.
Okay.
Like, you just are still negligent, but you did cause someone to die. So, I think at the end of the day... probably still is manslaughter. I mean, somebody died due to the actions he took. But then you tack on criminal negligence as well.
Yeah.
Now we should have 2 charges.
It also came out in the course of stuff that the car was fully like compliant with government regulations, and they didn't go to market too early based on what the government said. So they've done all their testing. They've done everything they're supposed to. The car just made the decision. The AI itself made the decision to like kill the cyclist versus stay on the course. Because that was a point that they made, that if the car had just stayed the course, it would have not hit the other car because the other car was able to get back in the other lane in time. So really, the car
True.
could have just like stayed in its lane, done nothing, and been fine.
But that, okay. Why am I so into this?
Yeah, I thought you would be.
But that's a whole debate between like computers and humans. Like a computer will only take a programming thing into account, and it's not going to I mean, it is AI. I get that. But it's still a computer where it's not going to go like, what could happen, and read the minute signs that we're going to pick up like in the heat of that moment. Like we do things intuitively, like like that car's probably going to make it.
Yeah.
Something. Also, like if it was one of us, we might have been able to see what's happening, because like I'm a pretty defensive driver. Like if I had seen someone doing that and I see the cyclist, I might have gone ahead and slowed down to make room for that thing.
Yeah.
So could that be a feature that then we think probably needs to go in future cars, but you need to be negligent in this case?
Right.
You know?
But then
Bigger
this was another
forethoughts, okay.
argument by the defendant. He was like, well, if you put me in prison for 10 years, I'm not going to be able to develop this car and continue to make it better and let it do the things it needs to
your
do.
successor is going to do that for you.
Maybe he doesn't have one.
You're
Maybe
out of
he's
luck.
Too big and brained, you know?
Well then, we go without these fucking cars, man.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I am of the opinion that I feel, maybe this is a hot take, I feel like whenever you get into a self-driving vehicle, because they have those now, they have self-driving taxis where you just like get in and you're at the mercy of whatever the car does to you.
Yeah. Haley was in one of those in San Francisco.
Oh my God.
She just went there for like something to do with work, right? And she sent me a video from inside. There's nobody in the fucking driver's seat, my dude.
I don't like that at all.
And it just like straight up, like, it didn't whip, but like it turned 90 degrees to do like a right-hand turn really fucking fast. It was just like, whoosh, and the car just like whipped in there.
I don't like that.
That's scary. That's scary. I don't like that.
I think that whenever a person gets into a vehicle like that, they are signing, I feel like, I hesitate
So it's like
to say
an unwritten signing of, hey, something could happen to you.
Something
You're
could
choosing
happen.
to do this.
Yeah. And I think that in the event that the car has a decision to make, like, do I veer into traffic and like kill other people in cars? Do I veer into the bike lane and kill people on bikes? Or do I do something dangerous that could kill my own passenger? I feel like the car should act in defense of everybody around it. And if they have to kill their own passenger, that's just kind of a risk that you take.
This is a whole... Do you remember iRobot
Yeah.
with Will Smith?
Mm-hmm.
And the whole reason that like he hates robots is he was in a car. Okay, so like they were in a car that went into the water. And this robot jumped in and it made a calculated choice. He has the higher percentage of surviving this, so it saved him but let a kid drown in the car.
Ah, okay. I forgot about that part.
And so that's why he hates the robots, is because he was like, you would always choose the kid, but they went off of a statistical whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I can get this man out of the car easier and faster. He will probably live, but I could try for the kid with a less percent chance, and then they both could die. So I'm making sure one lives over two maybe dying.
Yeah.
It's that same kind of scenario.
Yeah,
you know?
it's the defense counsel kept comparing it to the trolley problem, you know, where like the train is on the track, it's going to kill 5 people. You could intervene and divert the train and it would kill one person. What's the better choice? Like, are you going to sit by, do nothing and watch 5 people die? Or do you intervene and then kill somebody by your own hand?
I feel like that's different because those are guarantees. Those are guarantees.
Yeah.
These are all like statistical what ifs.
Yes.
What could happen? in the trolley problem, one person absolutely will die or 5 people absolutely will die. You are
Yeah.
choosing a greater loss of life versus these scenarios, which is I need to try to calculate what will save the most life because I don't know. Potentially all could be saved. Potentially none could be saved. It is a complete, you know, that's a totally different thing. I don't think that's trolley pop problem relatable at all. I wouldn't have
Yeah.
enjoyed that argument with that. I
No,
don't
the
think.
defense drove me nuts during this case. I was like, she's wrong. It's not the trolley problem at all. It doesn't track for me. So
I would have loved if you could have just been like, I object. That's not relevant.
objection, Your Honor, relevance. Yeah, I really had a good time. It was very much like being in a courtroom, but the jury was like 500 people. It was really exciting.
Yeah.
So we had 4 different votes. We voted first, like, get a temperature check. Like, do you guys think this guy's innocent or guilty? Then we
Okay.
had one piece of evidence that it was the emails from his previous company where the lady was like, yeah, we actually fired him. He's not a safe dude.
Okay.
That piece of evidence, we had to vote on whether or not to actually include it in the arguments. And it was really close vote on whether we should have included it or not. We ended up including it. And
Okay.
in talking to Richard afterward, because he does car accidents for a living, so he's like really experienced in all this stuff. He was like, that probably should have been excluded because it's not at all relevant to the actual case that's happening right now. I mean, it works kind of as a character witness thing. So to say like, he has a tendency to leave out safety recommendations wherever he can to save money, but it didn't have anything to do with the actual accident.
I guess, well, that's also a what if he used to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, we could admit something that says, well, that is his character fully, and he's like, that was 20 years ago, and I've grown since then.
Right.
And we don't have a counterpart to that,
Mm-hmm.
I can see that. Okay.
We had the vote on one final question to ask the defendant. And the options were, do you regret, like, do you feel remorse for the guy that died? And
no.
I mean, the character.
And then you vote guilty.
Yeah, the character that the guy was playing, he seemed very, very Elon Musk coded. I think pretty intentionally.
That's what I've been getting. Yeah.
So
okay.
It was. I didn't want to know the answer to that question because I didn't feel like it would have.
It would have colored much more.
Yeah, I don't think it would have been like, wow, this guy is so empathetic. And then there was another question where, like, are you going to work on your future cars to make them, like, to correct this coding? Like, are you going to have it do something different next time? I forget what the third one was, but we ended up asking the second one. And he was like, I'm not going to do any more testing than the government requires because that's what's required of me. I'm doing my job.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so if he's saying that he's not going to fix it, he's basically saying, like, I will kill again. So
yeah,
in my opinion, I was like, this guy seems guilty. So that was the final vote of, like, what we had to do. Is he guilty or is he innocent? What do you guys think? And the vote was closer than I thought it was going to be. And I actually ended up on the wrong side of the vote. They voted 65-35 and 65% said innocent. So the dude ended up going free at the end.
Yeah, because they all want to use AI for their own nefarious purposes.
I guess, yeah. But it was a really interesting experience. And, like, everybody that was in the audience were just, like, hanging out, talking afterwards. It was cool. Just, like, everyone discussing the case with the people and being like,
well,
theories.
Because that's what I was thinking in the first place as well. Like, yeah, I don't know how you can charge him because I would imagine he's like an LLC. You're not going to get him to go anywhere. You would get something from the company that makes this, that, like, would suffer the punishment. It's not going to be the guy.
Yeah, that was a weird part of the case too. Like, why are we suing the CEO of the company? You should be suing the company, sure.
Yeah,
and have the company pay fines.
That's what I think, and that's why I'm like, yeah, but, like, why the guy? And so now it's like, I'm betting, what if people just had the same thought and they were like, well, he should be innocent because it should be the company. So they really didn't vote the way it's intended to be seen and looked at.
Yeah. I feel like it would have been definitely a different experience if we had gotten to vote on, like, what the sentencing and the actual crime were, but that's just not
Yeah.
how the jury system works in America.
This worked. Yeah.
And actually, the lady who played the judge at the end of it, she was like, she stepped out of character and she was like, I just want to take a moment to like remind everybody how important it is to register to vote. And she almost started crying on stage too. I was like, God damn.
Yeah.
She was like,
And then
"Don't
she
forget."
said, and you guys voted stupid. He's guilty as fuck, you dummies. And then ran away.
No, she was just like, it's an important part of our American citizenship. It's
Yeah.
a duty that we have and a right and something, something to look forward to. Jury duty's not all that bad. It gets a bad rap, but it's an important thing that we are tasked with as American citizens.
Which, by the way, PSA, which I guess we can put in the real show too, early voting starts today.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know when you guys are hearing this, but October 20th for the 17 new amendments that are going in there. So,
I've not researched any of that shit, and I really need to. Like, I keep seeing...
I was looking at them today, but I didn't get a chance to read into it much.
I keep seeing the brief explainers on it, and I just want to vote no on everything, to be honest. This is not my advice to you guys.
That's what I was going to say. I had heard someone said all of them are going to benefit somebody, but it's
Yeah.
not going to benefit you. So
Yeah.
you should just say no because you're simply voting yes to let somebody else benefit, but you yourself will never from any of these.
Yeah, one of the amendments is about like shoring up water supplies in Texas. And I'm like, yeah, great. We want to get clean water to all the citizens of Texas. It's for the data centers. It's for the AI.
I was about to say for somebody to sell, probably.
Yeah. So
Because they can't sell their dirty water.
yeah, I'm so.
Oh, that one I definitely got to
disillusioned.
say no to.
I know. I'm gonna do more research on them. I really have to. It is our duty.
I found a list. It was from the Texas Tribune, right? And it like gave like here's the actual wording, layman's terms. What does this mean?
Yeah.
But I wanted to like really look at it and go, okay, are you swaying it any one way? Because I don't want to read this if it's just gonna say like, but this one,
Yeah.
but this way. I want to know just what does it mean? What's happening?
I wish that they would just fucking write it out in layman's terms, because the way that they write bills is like, do you want to stab a child in the face, or would you like to feed the child?
A knife, and you're like, well, that sounds the same.
Yeah. It's frustrating to live in Tejas at the moment.
No, rephrase.
It's
difficult
frustrating to live. Just to live.
That's it. To live.
Yeah.
I got a TikTok the other day. It was Beavis and Butthead, and it was like when me and my wife think about trying to move somewhere, and so Beavis is like, "Man, we should really get out of here. This place sucks." And he goes, but like every other place sucks too." And he's like, "Yeah, you're right." Because it's true.
Yeah.
No matter where you go, fucking sucks. It's not
it
good.
doesn't suck nearly as bad in the countries where you don't have to work 60 hours a week to make a fucking living.
Well, you're talking about leaving here. That's a whole different matter. That's a different bag of potatoes, okay?
Whole different kettle of fish.
Yeah. So, well, that actually sounded kind of fun. I probably would like going to one of those.
It was really cool. I hope that they have like more of them. I think it would be neat to see, different kinds of cases and stuff. Because it was all
Yeah.
just like about morals in the end of it. Like, is he... It was
Yeah.
all theory and philosophy. So, good shit.
But I like how before he even went further in, I was like, well, he's guilty and needs more charges. But, yeah, send me the info on that. I would be interested in that thing.
Yeah, I will.
Well, with that, we want to get into the big stuff. We do
Let's.
the big stuff now.
I want to. Let's do it.